Shalom Habarim, Shabua Tob, Melkam Ahud, Melkam Sament. Hello friends, good strong 7, good first day, and a good strong. Now, as I speak, everything is happening systematically around us and with everybody and with everything. And it's the universal order that the Creator put in place in the very beginnings. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and He geometrized. What's happening is that everything in life is actually perfectly arranged systematically, and it is predestined and set to progress that way. The key is to have our intelligent decision-making mechanism and our God-given free will to be made intelligently obedient to God's law, guidance, and wisdom, even to a basic amount. And the rewards, therefore, are truly great. Now, the most important thing in terms of a daily practice of timekeeping is actually writing a self-mastery calendar every day. Because if you do this, you actually have an overview of the life cycles that you're in every minute, every hour, every 3 hours, every 3.5 days, etc. So with an accurate map of the cycles of life that are going on that you're in, you have a map of your life and what can be accomplished at a standard informative level. Now, the measure and the amount of what you can accomplish is absolutely massive, and it's all based on how much wisely and properly timed, diligent effort and work you put in terms of, and mostly in terms of navigation and navigational work and mapping work. What's very interesting is the following fact. Even though I personally totally comprehend this and I know this, right? And I know that it's to the best of my advantage to write a map every day, to write a calendar page, a self-mastery calendar page every day, right? For the next day. And sometimes during the very positive units of the cycles of life, you're automatically compelled to write a couple pages for a couple days in advance, right? It is so true, and it's a somewhat hidden yet a true and a recognizable fact that even with the best sort of motivation and objectives in mind and all these things, it sometimes is a little bit challenging to even do the most basic of things that are important in our lives. How can that be, seeing that we know how to accomplish it, we know how to manage it, right? We've done it before, we've won this battle before, it's a piece of cake. How come some days I don't even write a calendar page, right? How come? How is that possible? And moreover, how come there are these so-called ups and downs in life? We have to be honest and tell the truth. The truth is, because what is actually going on is that there are always different cycles of life that we're in, and some of them are very positive and energetically masculine and life-giving. And so all of these different activities are expedited. There's days when you will accomplish more than you accomplished in 3 or 4 other days. It's because of the way that the universe is working at that time and how everything is happening in your life at that time because of the cycles of life that you're in at that time. So we have to be intelligent and take rightful advantage of the right cycles of life when we are in them to accomplish the maximum and the highest good for ourselves and for others and for the complete and total creation, so to say. And by doing this, you're automatically preemptively overcoming and like walking over the top of any of the potential obstacles that could even possibly arise in the future, and you're turning them into subjugated advantages. So how does this look practically? This is actually really important. You should pay attention to this. You see, like I said earlier, there's days when you'll accomplish more than you'll have accomplished in other days. And it's because of the power, the power, that's God, blessed be his name, to him be the praise. Yet it's when the universal energy that powers the universe, so to say, is going through a phase, an orderly phase of very positive nature, where then these are the really productive and the really good days when there are massive positive increases in personal life, business life, health life, etc. You name it, good things happening, and a lot of them happening quickly. Those are the positive short lunar units of 3 hours and the positive long lunar units of 3.5 days. Now, look, the way to have mastery over it all is to map it all, so to say, in terms of a calendar page for every day with the cycles of life mapped out. Because whenever there arises some type of a thing that has to be accomplished in life to improve the quality of life, right? To have, legitimate benefit and good things, food, clothes, shelter, amenities, whatever good things we seek to accomplish, there are windows of opportunity when they can be accomplished. You have to identify those windows of opportunity, though, because that way you will be able to act at the right times and automatically achieve what you set out to accomplish, wherein it was and is or will be the time therefore, and thus it will be accomplished and it will be prosperous, and you will be prosperous. So it's almost like trying to go from one room to another, and at a certain time the door is open. And so when the door is open, you walk through it safely, and at other times the door is closed and you could not walk through it. There's no way, okay? This is how it works. It's almost like there are gates that are open sometimes that you can pass through to access new things in new areas, in new places. What it actually is that the cycles of life are provided by divine providence, and in these cycles of life, divine providence is systematically and orderly, in an orderly way, and in a very orderly way, freely giving out different things in terms of some type of programming of the vibes in the universe universally that cause humans to think, feel, dream, daydream, visualize, act, speak, and do in certain ways and produce certain real life results. And that includes anything humans can accomplish, generally speaking, right? So they're actually, moreover, more precisely, what's happening is that there are things, different things in life are created, and they're created by humans at different times with divine providence, of course, as the primary resource. So what's actually going on is you're creating things, whether it's in your business, your personal life, whatever thing, there's something that you're creating. Could be compared to me creating this vlog right now. There's a time when I started creating this thing, right? This vlog. And it was actually at about 1 p.m. today, right? On the 11th of January 2026, during a neutral lunar unit in a C period of a daily periods of the cycles of life. Good for the realization of great spiritual truths and seeing clearly through all of life and comprehending the higher and the finer things of life and how it all works and so on. So it's a good time for this thing. That's why it's being produced right now. Now we have free will and we can choose, right? I can choose right now to go that way or that way. Yes or no, right? Yet what's interesting is that if you really observe as neutrally as possible in terms of what is going on with us and in our lives, we'll actually see that, we will see that the reason why anything and everything is actually even happening the way it is right now, even while we have mastery, and that is basically the ability to accomplish, whatever legit objectives we have, to master our life and our destiny, right? And not be a victim or subject to any sort of uncontrollable and potentially dangerous factors such as coincidence or anything to do with ignorance or lack of knowledge that results in living in a sort of uncertainty where one is sort of subject to like fate rather than determining one's fate, and a good one, and a good destiny actually. It's interesting because what's happening is everything that's happening right now, even while I'm making it happen with a certain divine free will, and this actually goes on all the time, it's happening the way it is because of the times that, or the time that it is right now and the life cycles that we're in right now. Now, there's proof for this. What I'm saying is that everything is programmed a certain way perfectly according to a certain universal system at all times, right? And this is going on all the time. And if you could see this and have insight into this, it would show you and explain to you why everything is how it is all the time in your life. And that's exactly what happens when you have a life cycle calendar. Because I know, for example, right now, I know based on the life cycles that I am in, for example, first of all, because of knowing what the life cycles are that I'm in right now, I know why everything is how it is right now and how it's like, being and how it's supposed to be and how it will go. And basically what will happen and what's generally possible and how it will happen further. This is no different than someone, standing at the seashore looking at the waves coming in, and it's a rising tide, if I'm correct, and saying, okay, yep, the tide is rising now, right? You can see it, it's happening, it's systematic. Oh, it's going out, okay, it's lowering again. It's just how nature works. It's obvious. It can be intelligently comprehended. It takes a little investigation, divine guidance and wisdom. You will see. You'll see it all clearly. The thing is, it's important to see this because, look, imagine you're standing there and you realize, okay, I have these bills. I have this and that, financial this, that. I got to get this. How am I going to, right? The typical thing in life. How are you going to make this work? How do you accomplish this objective? Well, hold on a second. With the right strategy, wise sort of living and operating system, right? Through mastery, by practically applying wisdom in accordance with divine law and generally with a basic standard amount of legitimacy in terms of good, legit objectives, right? Good things. And that guided by wisdom, you will simply accomplish the good and you will be prosperous. And that goes on and on. The thing is, you have to be systematic because look, let's take this I'm going to use real life examples to make this so simple and accessible to everybody. I've got bills in the mail, right? Looking at like a couple hundred, and then there's, it would be great if I had a couple thousand now, cover everything, take a good time to, et cetera, right? So whatever objective it is, whatever you're thinking about, you're working on, hold on a second. The first thing is to actually look and see and clearly comprehend what life cycles you're in and what time it is for what things in your life. Because now what you're doing is looking at it with a map. So you see, okay, this is the area right now that we're in. Oh, there's this beautiful thing here and there's this beautiful thing there. It's actually ready for us to access it. This is where it is, or what it is the time for right now. So this is what we should strive for and work towards, and then it will be accomplished. Generally, that's what's going to happen, and or happen better. It will always happen better. It always does, but that's the logic you have to have. You have to be working on the right objectives, first of all, and that at the right times. Then what happens? What is that in a nutshell? It's living in harmony with the cycles of life. It's having a map of the life cycles you're in and acting according to what is indicated as the proper path to go on, the right objectives to accomplish in business, personal life, health life, etc., right? Now, how can we know this? Well, first of all, it's written in books. Just like it's written in books, like about the most basic things in life that go on and happen around us all the time and that are important to pay attention to so that we can benefit, right? Now, the best strategy for to prosper, right? And even to win